I guess it's important you read that memo sometimes.
Whether you're dropping the ball or you're picking up a fumble, let's make a play. Welcome in to Coffee with Dubs. Grab a cup, let's talk about some stuff.
You know, I think one of the strangest things about becoming comfortable with yourself is realizing that confidence and discomfort can exist in the exact same room at the exact same time. Because today was interesting. I had a professional staff meeting. CEO was there, hosted inside a church. Everybody else was dressed the way you'd probably expect people to dress in that environment. Then entered Dubs. Bright colors, loud tie-dye, completely looking like I stepped in from an art festival instead of a professional meeting. And I was mortified. Part of me noticed it immediately because human beings are hyper aware when they stand out. You feel the eyes, the contrast. You notice when your energy doesn't fully match the room around you. It was uncomfortable, and I think a lot of people immediately shrink themselves in moments like that. They apologize for their personality, their creativity. They apologize for their differences, or for taking up space in a way that doesn't perfectly align with everybody else around them. But today, I started thinking about something differently. There is a difference between being disrespectful and just being yourself. I wasn't being harmful. I wasn't being disruptive. I wasn't trying to mock the environment. I just showed up as a human being who happens to carry color differently than some other people do. And honestly, in certain ways, I felt completely comfortable. I owned the room in moments. I connected with people. I contributed. I existed confidently inside myself. But in other moments, yeah, I felt like an outcast too. That is the truth. Because authenticity doesn't magically erase self-awareness. You still notice when you're different. You still feel the moments of social friction. You still question yourself briefly in the moment. And that's human. And I think one of the biggest lies people believe is that confidence means never feeling awkward. That's not confidence. Confidence is feeling awkward sometimes, but refusing to abandon yourself anyway. That is different. Because real confidence is not loud arrogance. It's not domination. It's not needing everybody to approve of you. Real confidence is the ability to remain connected to yourself even when standing inside environments that you don't fully mirror back. And that's hard, especially for creative people, especially for emotionally expressive people, especially for those of us who spent large parts of our lives trying to blend in just to avoid judgment. Because eventually you realize fitting in and belonging are not always the same thing. Fitting in usually requires shrinking parts of yourself temporarily. Belonging allows you to exist more honestly, and really, when you think about it, I think adulthood becomes healthier the moment you stop demanding universal sameness before allowing yourself comfort. Because no matter where you go in life, there's always going to be rooms where you stand out. A different personality, different style, different background, different emotional energy, different worldviews. It's unavoidable, and if you constantly edit yourself down every time you enter a room, then it doesn't reflect you perfectly. Eventually, you start losing connection to who you really identify as completely, and that can get exhausting. Now, obviously, there's balance to this. Self-awareness matters, respect matters, reading the environment matters. But there's also something deeply freeing about reaching a point where you stop apologizing for carrying your spirit openly. Not aggressively, not selfishly, just honestly. And I think people can feel the difference between authenticity and performance eventually, because authenticity feels grounded, relaxed, and natural. Performance feels desperate for approval. That distinction matters, and maybe today's reminder is this: you don't have to become emotionally colorless just to appear acceptable. You're allowed to carry personality into your professional spaces. You're allowed to be expressive. You're allowed to exist differently without automatically assuming you're wrong for it. Because sometimes growth is not becoming smaller to fit the room. Sometimes growth is learning how to stand in the room comfortably without abandoning the parts of yourself that make you feel alive in the first place. So let's keep enjoying life one sip at a time, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Coffee with Dubs.